Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. And hello, everyone. Here we're back for another fabulous episode, another show, another interview, another amazing soul here to share with us. I'm so glad to have you here. Diane, hello.
Hi, how are you, Dan? I'm so glad to be here, and I am so happy to be with your listeners, your viewers. I'm excited. I've been excited all week to talk to you.
Likewise. And so Diane is going to be talking to us about one of the most amazing things ever is living the B principles, which she'll tell you what those are, but just, the idea of B principles and living those principles is just, wow. I mean, that in itself is just something to behold. And so to really, one of the biggest things that I think is up for people is their need to embrace and love themselves fully and completely, with no uncertainty. And there's a process to that, and then there's, in this case, principles to that and more. So we're going to learn about that today, and I'm so glad that we have Diane here to share about it with us today. So Diane, I'm going to share with them in a moment more about you. First of all, I just want to let everybody know, why don't you go ahead and make yourself subscribe to the show, because after all, there's more love coming, so you may as well be here for it. Okay, all right, so go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and, as they say, smash that subscribe button. I say love that subscribe button, all right? Okay, all right, so let me tell you about Diane. Diane Haworth is a heart-centered success coach, speaker, author, awake TV host, and founder of the Be Love Principles, who helps people connect to their own divine wisdom to live a more guided, loving life for themselves, their family, their community, and the world. And isn't that what it's all about? She had a direct divine experience in 2018, resulting in the Be Love Principles. She is now passionate about teaching people around the globe how to live love using the principles. Diane holds BS in mass communications, an MBA, and several healing and coaching certifications. She loves the Enneagram and A Course in Miracles. Her first book, How to Choose Love When You Just Want to Slap Somebody, love that title, was published in 2014. Diane lives with husband Joe and Rory, the cat, in the beautiful foothills of Virginia Blue Ridge Mountains. Oh, I love those mountains. I go through there when I go to Virginia Beach to see my stepdaughter and their beautiful family, and is close to her adult children and beloved grandson, Emory.
Emory.
Emory. Okay,
Emory.
I'm trying to pronounce that. I should have asked you about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, glad to have you here. You can check out Diane as well at www.dianehaworth.com. That's HAWORTH.com, dianehaworth.com, and the www.beloveprinciples.org website. You got to learn about them. So, Diane, what the heck is going on with these beloved principles? I mean, I'm wondering not only what are they, but how in the world did your journey take you to a download of like, hey, beloved principles? See, this is what you're meant to share. Like, tell us about a little bit about your journey to this happening.
Well, I really appreciate the question, and it's one that I get asked a lot. And I do want to address this thing. I do have to recognize that I got a direct download, but I also recognize we all get them all the time. What I'll say is, in this one particular instance, I was really paying attention. So that was one thing, right? You and I know at our core, yours, mine, everybody who's ever going to see this, we have that divine wisdom inside of us. I know for decades, I just wasn't listening. And if I did hear it, I wasn't allowing myself to be guided. The more that I relax into that love, hear that guidance through meditation, and now you and I have talked about that because I'm still excited about when you were a guest on my show and we talked about meditation. We know that's life-changing. And I think that's what opened the door for me, quite frankly. That's what helped me awake. Really, that's what woke me up to what was real in life. And that's when life got juicy and magical and just more fun, more peace, more love, more freedom, everything that's in the everything they advertise, folks. That's what you get with meditation. And that's exactly what happened to me through years of study, through meditation, through constantly, I would say really constantly, especially the last 10, 15 years, asking, how do I go deeper into love? And to me, love is the intelligent, creative, expansive energy that beats your heart and mind, that creates galaxies. And that was really a turning point for me as well. Once I realized the energy of love was intelligent, it was creating, as I said, galaxies. It creates the human body. It creates the environment. Then I figured, well, I guess it could help me with my little life, right?
Right?
How hard could my little life be if, compared to creating a galaxy? So once I kept relaxing into that, learning and studying, and I know that's exactly what you encourage people to do, I was guided to different modalities, tools, and was really interested in how could I become an instrument for peace. And I started praying that every day. Make me an instrument of your peace. Show me how to serve. And in that May timeframe, 2018, I was actually in a workshop, and we were instructed to work with a partner and ask, love, what would you most have me know today? Now, that's something I end my journaling every day with. So to be really honest with you, I thought, man, I know how to do this. This poor lady I was partnered with might be new to her, but I had it. And as usual, I so did not have it, Daniel. It was a surprise what happened. I actually had a full body experience. When I am journaling in the morning and I write that question, love, what would you most have me know today? I usually will get a phrase, a thought. Sometimes I will ask something specific. What are 3 ways to move my business forward? And you know how this works. You get the information. Mm-hmm. This was a full body experience. I had visions, I heard, I felt in my body. And when I said, love, what would you most have me know today? I immediately heard, be love. And at that point, all what I'm going to tell you happened just like that. It was all at once. I'm going to tell you in a linear fashion, but it all happened at the same time. I could see myself as an observer. It was like I was up here watching myself walk up to my daughter's house. And there's 3 little steps that go up to her porch, and there's a glass door. And on the other side of the door was my grandson, Emory, who at the time was probably 15 months old. And this, I hope I don't cry because it gets me every time I think about this. As I watched myself go up the stairs, he was on the other side of the door, the glass door. And I could see my heart open, and I felt my heart open. And as the observer, I saw love flowing from my heart to his. And I saw that love coming back to me. I saw that circuit of love. And it was just overwhelming. And I heard, greet everyone with an open heart, without an agenda. The next thing I know, I'm inside the house, and Emory and I are in their little family room. And again, he was 15 months old. We were playing blocks, and he tossed a block over to me and actually hit me in the cheek. And I thought, oh, he's just a kid, right? He's just a kid. And I immediately heard, forgive quickly, completely, and unconditionally. I was looking at his little body, right? Because he's 15 months old, and he's the most gorgeous child on the planet. If you guys don't believe me, go see me on Facebook. Kid's gorgeous. But I wasn't looking at his physical self. I was looking at this iridescent light inside. and I heard, see the divine essence in everyone. And in the next instant, I was in a darkened space and I saw a door, and the door just started to crack open. And out of this door just poured forth this teeming, golden, iridescent light. It was almost overwhelming. The thing that was so interesting to me is I've actually had a near-death experience. I've experienced the white light, at least what it was for me, which was calming, and it just was very enveloping and calming and loving and calm. This was like Mardi Gras. This was like woohoo, energy of vibrancy and joy, and it was teeming with vibrant energy. And what I heard was, you are the light. Remember, you never left the light of the all. And then it was over. So just those four things. Greet everyone with an open heart without an agenda. And actually the second was see the divine essence. Forgive quickly, completely, unconditionally. And remember, you are the light. You never left the light of the all. So it was really life-changing, actually. The whole story's on the website and people can find out about that. There was other things that happened. I like lost my voice for 10 days. It was quite a journey there, but it is now my life's work. It's now my life's work.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So if we break those down a little bit, then the one of them that, there's a couple in there that really, they all stand out, but I mean, and it's interesting the way they came to you. So
Yeah,
because it came to you said all at once, but it also sounds like they're, like deepened over time as well, maybe. Is that true or no?
they came to me all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And my understanding has deepened. They seem to be fluid. You're right, they're very simple, right? And most spiritual truths really are pretty simple at their core. But it's almost like when I read the Course in Miracles, I read the same lessons. I do the lessons every day, and I read the same lessons year after year. And I don't know about you, Daniel, but sometimes there are these wonderful texts that you're very familiar with, and you'll read them and go, hey, I never got that before. That you show up different. So what I find that these the principles morph and meet you where you are, but they always beckon you to go deeper into love. And that's what to me is so fascinating about how they work.
Yeah, and I'm just, I'm listening in because I always want to listen into what my audience might be thinking, as they're listening all this, and on different levels. One level would be, because I look at even my own reactions, my mind, just even if it's for an instant, will say something like, "Oh, that's too easy. That's ridiculously too easy."
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
That's one thing. Right?
That's what I thought. And you know what I thought? Did that even happen? Did this was in the morning, did somebody put something in my coffee? What was it? I mean, really, because I'm intuitive. I've had experiences. I'd never had anything like this before, but I thought the same thing. I thought this is crazy. Don't I get something on a tablet or I don't know, a burning bush or something? This is what I'm supposed to do with my grandson. But that's exactly how they came.
Yeah. So that was one of the things. And I think that one of the thoughts that comes to me is that a lot of people are probably thinking, well, I mean, generally speaking, I'm very loving. I'm very, but then we start thinking about however you said it, but love, completely and totally, and forgive totally and completely right away. And well, how many of us really do that? I mean, if you're honest, not too many, not too many, unless you really are being conscious, really being aware, because we have stuff. We've got things coming up the works from us, from our sacred heart, just simply beaming and doing that already, right? So because it would, if our encumbrances were out of the way, it just automatically, in my opinion, would just be happening. But because we build up stuff, we have that to work on within ourselves, which shows up in other people, right? Whoa, why am I throwing a block at myself? Is what I'm thinking, right? When the block comes in, why did I throw that block at me? That's me throwing a block at me. Oh, well, then I would want to forgive myself for that, right? Because I always see it as a oneness field, like we're all one. So why wouldn't you want to love, everyone instantly, completely, and forgive them totally and completely right away?
Well,
But
I didn't necessarily right away.
right, right, right.
Okay, because I just remember thinking, "Oh, okay, first one's pretty cool. Second one, you okay? That third one,
Yeah, right.
you know, I had this, I had the exact same reaction, the exact same reaction, and it's been a process. And what's been really interesting is now over the years, specific, I guess we would just call it processes have come to me and been given to me to help lead people through this, but it just deepens over time. You know, the difference between you're a little kid, well, maybe not you, but in my family, when I grew up, I was the oldest. So, my sister and I would be having a fight, and my mother would make me say, I forgive you or something like that. I didn't. Okay. I said the words, but I didn't. I didn't even know what it meant. I didn't
Right.
even know what it meant. And I think that's really a lot of people's experience with forgiveness. Their mom or their dad made them say it. It's something, you know what it's like to have that. Oh, it's like a divine release when you
Yeah.
really can let go of a resentment or feelings of rejection or all those things that we hold on to. You're exactly right. We're the ones that are harmed by them. What I found was I started playing with these things, and I started practicing each principle for a whole week. So for a whole week, I was very aware of how can I greet this person with an open heart without an agenda? What the heck does that even mean, for example? I didn't know. So I started taking notes and journaling about it. And how do I do this? And then I went right through. What I found is as I practiced the first and the second one, the third one with the forgiveness came in, it was a lot easier. Not always easy, but it was easier.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, you have to become, again, it's about conscious awareness, right? So you have to constantly be more consciously aware in that space in the heart, especially, right? And so, well, let's walk people through them maybe one by one now, if that's if you'd like to do that. So yeah, so we could understand each one more. It sounds so simple, but there's a depth to each one. Be love. Okay, that's easy. Yeah, right. Okay, let's talk about that a little bit. So let's go through all four again. So and tell us more in depth what it means to embody each one.
Okay, so I think I love that, and I appreciate this opportunity. There's many, many ways to do this, but the one that I'm being guided to share with you all now is actually not where I usually start. Usually, if I'm doing a group or a class, or I'm leading doing a speaking engagement, I'm leading people through this, I'll have them choose a relationship to do this with, or a situation. And in 2020, we had lots of opportunities, right, to bring love to all kinds of things. But what I'm really being guided to do now is have invite people to use themselves as the focus person. So, what I learned to do, this is something I've done with myself and I lead my clients through as well, is go through a period of time, and a week's a great place to start. And in the morning, you get up, you go to the bathroom, you look in your own eyes and say, show me how to see myself with an open heart without an agenda. Now, what does without an agenda mean? It means without any of the filters that I have, that I'm a woman, I'm this age, I've got these wrinkles. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that gray's sticking through there. All of that stuff that usually can happen for us in the mirrors, right? How can love see love? That's what happened to me in the original vision when I saw my grandson. It was love reacting to love. And I never got it in that way before. I've been very blessed to love many, many people throughout my life. I'm sure you have. I'm sure everybody here has. There is something so pure about my relationship with my grandson. I am sure a lot of it has to do with the fact that, I don't have to do his laundry. I don't worry about, if what clothes are cleaned or anything like that. I can just love him. And there is something about love recognizing and reacting to love. So when you can go a week and you're doing your very best to just ask to be shown, show me how to see myself with an open heart without an agenda. Just that can be life-changing. And I've had clients that have done that for more than a month because it just, there was just such richness there. And the other thing that I always suggest people do is journal, right? Just journal about it. That's a great question to take into meditation. To me, that would just be a beautiful way to experience yourself. Without that an agenda also means, without your name, without your race, with just who are you as a spirit, as a unique spark of the divine? How do you greet that? How do you greet that? Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that it's like beyond, yeah, our usual labels. Well, I love that I'm a nice person, or I love, that, I'm smart, or I love, it's all these specific things, but going deeper is how I hear it. Like really, first beyond words, it says what it feels like to me. It's just like I
absolutely.
just see myself as love, and I love the love that I am. You know what I'm saying? And then just appreciating the depth of that, and then it may demonstrate itself as, well, I love this about the essence of who I am, or something like that's what it sounds like. Is that right? Or
Well, that's the way I experience, and that's the way my clients and students usually experience. Eventually, I'll be very honest.
yeah,
Lots of times there is just so much resistance, right? And that's important too.
yeah,
That's to be honored and acknowledged and realized. That's just part of the process. That's it. Just part of the process. So, in this particular stage, one of the things that I think is just really beautiful about it is imagining, right? Imagine what it would be like to be able to greet yourself with that open heart. You know what it feels like when your heart opens, you're having such a loving heart-based experience. Usually it's with someone else, with a situation, it could be with your pets, but how often do we have that with ourselves? So that is a real gift when you can get there. And I just really encourage everybody that's tuning in today to just practice with that first one. What I found over time is that it's just really specific the way this process works. Each principle is powerful on its own, but as a process, it's like unbelievable. So the second, right, principle is see the divine essence in everyone. And I have expanded that to be everyone and everything. And let me tell you something, Daniel. That was a stretch last year in 2020, right? To see everything, to see the divine essence in everything. But when I could go in the mirror, because we'll go back to ourselves, right? When I could go to the mirror and say, "Show me my divine essence," that takes you out of this physical form. That takes you to that next deeper level. Show me the divine essence. And you know how this works. When you can see it in you, then what happens? You see it everywhere. You can see it everywhere. That one will sometimes also, that brings up a lot of resistance sometimes, especially depending on the way people have been brought up. If they have been brought up to believe they're sinful or they have a sinful nature, whatever it is, like you said, whatever it is we have to move through. My experience is our unconscious beliefs, our upbringing, anything like that that can be is part of our story, right? Love is greater than any of that. It love is greater than any of that. And if we let love be as strong and intelligent as it is, and trust that that will help move us through this process, then how can we not see our divine essence? How can we not? So that's the second step. The third is, you're right, where we can get a little tricked up, and that is forgive quickly, completely, and unconditionally. Now, I don't know about you, but there's been many years in my life when I kind of liked a good grudge. I'm not I'm not proud of it, But,
Sure.
it's like, oh yeah, I forgive you, but do you really?
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So that's been a real process for me, especially, it's okay to think I'll forgive him eventually, but like I want to be mad for a week, right? That's
Right,
the
right.
human.
I'll get
That's
over it eventually. I'll forgive you
yeah,
someday, but
yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna hang on to this one for a while.
yeah. Maybe after Christmas I want to just, gossip about it a little bit.
Right, right.
That, that's all our ego stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not our divine self. That's not our divine self. And what I find is if you've gone through those first two principles and you've really worked with them, either in the mirror, the way we're describing here, or I've got free resources that will help you with that as well. This step gets a little more palatable, even for people who are relatively new to this process. So the idea of quickly, completely, and unconditionally isn't quite as scary. A lot of times I find in my work, and I'd be interested to see what you found, people are not willing to forgive because they think that somehow that will mean whatever they perceive has been done to them has been justified or it's right. It's not, it does anything about that, right? It's nothing about that. This is, how do you release yourself from that energy of resentment, regret, rejection, whatever it is that's holding you back from all the love you're here to experience.
Hmm.
So when you can look in a mirror in the morning and say, if something comes up for you, right, this is what I would do. I would think, is there anything that I might be holding on to, guilt or blame, shame, any of those lower energies? And if something comes to mind, I look myself in the mirror and say, I forgive you. I truly forgive you. I love you. And that can bring up a lot of stuff for people, but nothing's too big for love. It's too big for me, too big for my ego, too big for my personality, but it's not too big for love. Not if I keep showing up and saying, I not only am I willing to be loved today, but that's what I want to be. That's who I want to be in the world. I want to radiate the love that we all come from. I want to be the presence of love. And if that's what you want to be from a heart-centered place, not an ego place, so you get a billboard or something, just from that real place of desire, then the forgiveness can be a much easier than I've ever experienced it before. Does all that make sense?
Yeah, and Diane, the thing is you hit it so squarely earlier when you said like, yeah, this last year, how easy has all this been for people, right? And I think it's so much more important and it's a huge opportunity for people
Absolutely.
to do that. I think it's in some ways, if you're willing to commit yourself to this process of of embodying these principles, I actually believe it's easier to do it now than ever before. I think it's
I agree.
personally
Yeah.
because it's so like it's so there's been so much right up in your face that there's so much that comes up to the surface that it's not kind of like you can't like, oh, I don't notice it sometimes, like you notice it like in this environment. I mean, it's got a little bit better, I think, for some people since the election, but it's still energy there, and it's like it's still fresh, it's still
Oh, yeah.
fresh. We have that energy to work with, and I feel like that here on Spiritual Rockstar podcast, we're all about like, well, if you're going to be carrying this stuff around, then you're going to be transmitting that everywhere, and you're just being more of that unconsciousness. And we don't want to roll that way, right? So we don't want to roll that way. We're looking to be more awake, more conscious, what everybody is looking for that we listen to a show like this. So through that, and we really do need to to utilize the principles that you're talking about. And I know that, like everybody else, I'm not perfect at these at all. I mean, I think about things that where I felt like I got it wrong, and I have to forgive myself, right, when I
Yeah.
get it wrong, so to speak. But like I do something, I'm like, oh, that wasn't well. I sometimes I go profusely into like a hoponopono and all that. I
Mhm.
like, I'm sorry, I love you, thank you, all this stuff. I can go on and on until it's clear, and eventually it does. It always does clear eventually. Sometimes it's deeper, but each time you do it, I feel it strengthens us.
Yeah.
Where on average, it's easier to do it each time. Is something I've noticed too. Is that something you've noticed too, Diane, or
Well,
not?
yeah. And I have to say, I got like goosebumps all over because I am so resonating with what you say. This last year, no matter what, right? It's not like we even had political issues in our country, all over the world. There were
Yeah.
political issues, there were economic upheavals. We had like a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic.
Yeah.
So there were all these opportunities. And what something you said was just so resonating in my heart. Are we here to contribute to the love or the fear on this planet? That's it.
Yeah.
Do we want our energy to be feeding into the fear, or do we want to be, what do we want to be love? That's
Yeah.
it. And you're right. The more that you do these, the easier they get. It, yeah, that's true. The easier they
On
get to
average,
remember.
we're always gonna have our moments, right? So some,
Yeah, I mean, I still do.
oh,
And
oh yeah, I'm so mad at you.
yeah, and it's always, I'm always, I get the biggest kick out of people saying, oh, you must have this mastered, because they came through you. And it's like, are you kidding me? Who do you think needed to learn them the most, right? We always teach what we most need to learn.
Sure, sure.
So, and just like the Ho'oponopono, those are very simple 4 statements.
Right.
And look how powerful, right? It's Byron Katie's The Work, 4 statements.
Right.
The 4 agreements. I don't know what's with the 4th thing, but somehow
You got the 4th thing going too, so yeah, you're a good company there.
That's the way it goes. So in this process, the thing that's interesting is we'll use something in 2020 as an example. As I deepened into being able to greet people with an open heart, without an agenda, without thinking, you're a jerk, I don't understand what you're thinking about, how could you think that way, right? As I practice seeing their divine essence, it was so easy. Well, it was easier for me, I'll put it that way, 99 times out of 100, to see their essence, their divine self, separate from their actions. And I think that's why this came through my grandson, because I just love him and I understand he's just a kid. I mean, he's just a little boy. So if he throws something and it hits me, he doesn't know what he's doing. It doesn't diminish the love I feel for him. I immediately forgive him because I never saw an issue in the first place. Just like when he hit me with that block, he was 15 months old. He just wasn't that great at throwing, right? He just wasn't that good at it. He wasn't like I was going to go to my grave thinking, oh my gosh, that kid hit me in the face. No, he's just a kid. And when I can see that beautiful, authentic, innocent, divine essence in everyone, it is so much easier for me to understand and forgive their actions, which does not mean I agree with the actions. That's the big difference. I still can have my opinion about somebody's actions, but that energy of judgment is not there. The energy of discernment is there. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. Yeah, that's what I always say. I mean,
Yeah.
it's always about that, because that it takes the judgment out of it. You can still have like, this is where I stand in relationship to this. There still is that, but without this idea of judgment. Because I always tell people, like, with these different issues, well, are you for this? Are you for which side? Which side? This kind.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Separation.
probably based on that type of energy, none of it. Like, I'm not for any of that. I'm just for love. And then, within each issue, I can say, well, from my place of discernment and my own perspective, I lean this way. And I always just say, I lean this way. I can totally see in a loving compassion anyone else's view ultimately. I really can. I mean,
Yep.
I'm like, I see, you think everybody in the world should be murdered, especially Trump supporters or whatever it is. Like, okay, I could see your perspective. I love and appreciate your perspective, as crazy it might be to me. I can love and appreciate it. Doesn't mean I agree with it. Doesn't mean I'm saying, yeah, go kill them all. Like, I'm like, no, love them. Love the Biden supporters, love the Trump supporters, love them all. Love Biden, love Trump, love them. They're just reflection of the one. There's only one. It's just one ultimately, and we have to love it all. Otherwise, you're just going to continue to go on this merry-go-round indefinitely. More and more lifetimes, reincarnate again and again and again.
Bingo.
we just and in our lives, it's just patterns of suffering that just continue in this life. So it's craziness. Yeah.
So that's another thing that I think is so vital. I'm so glad you brought that up. Thank you. The Be Love principles for me and for the people that I teach have been a wonderful pattern interrupt. It's a great way. I'm so pleased that you did that. Thank you. I'm gonna take that into the future, Daniel. Thank you so much. And when you use them in this process, right? You have been greeting everybody, including yourself, always yourself, with an open heart, without an agenda, seeing the divine essence, forgiving quickly, completely, and unconditionally. Then that fourth one, you are the light. You never left the light of the all. So when you realize you are the light, then you realize everyone is the light. Now, full disclosure, sometimes I think people are like the light of giant bonfires, and sometimes it's like a little pilot light that might seem to be really, really, really small. But everybody's in the light. Everybody's from the light. And that light I experienced for a nanosecond. There wasn't really time where I was, but it oh my gosh, it was so vibrant, so joyful, so loving, so peaceful, so freeing that let me tell you something, everybody wants that. Everybody wants that. I know, yeah, that everybody wants that. And to be able to choose a tool, this is one of many, many tools that help people. Everyone has to figure out what they resonate with. So if anybody resonates with these Be Love principles, I can tell you from working with these for years. As a matter of fact, I think I might have mentioned to you, I actually did a case study where I actually tracked people over 3 months and had them fill out weekly, like we call them rating sheets, where they actually rated in 8 different life categories, how they were doing on a Sunday night before they started the principles, and then they agreed to use the principles in any way they wanted to, by the way, 5 out of 7 days. And it was crazy. We started in January 2020. And if you guys remember, we didn't know anything about a pandemic in 2020, not in January. We ended the end of March. And every week they were using the principles. There was a couple Zoom calls we did with them, but primarily they were keeping track of their progress. They were rating themselves. And I find at the end of 90 days, at the beginning of a pandemic, where here in Virginia, we were going on total shutdown, people's trips were canceled. Remember, nobody knew what was going on at that point. People's happiness factors and the group as a whole, I'm going to give you the aggregate scores, went up 17%, I think it was, in happiness. Their peace, the rating they put up for peace in a pandemic was 17% higher than it was when they started. Their connection to source was 29% higher. And the one that really blew me away was their sense of clarity was 60% increased from using the principles consistently.
That is amazing.
Well, it's amazing because love is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing because love is amazing. And when we let love be what it is, it's amazing. It's amazing.
The clarity one I want to double down on. I mean,
Yeah, me too. Me too.
because it's so true. I was with my mentor last night, and we're going through like something that I'm very well aware of, this process of dismantling your beliefs, basically,
Yeah.
without getting into what it is. And he was doing it, he was doing it for someone else and was having everybody, kind of follow along. And I was doing my own while they were doing that person's. And by loving myself more, because that's what it all amounts to ultimately, by loving myself more, where I had judged myself, where it was, I'm kind of aware of, but hadn't addressed yet, apparently, right? So like by addressing those things, what happened for me was profound. That last night, I was up late last night. I created a whole new year-long program that just totally rocks the planet. Okay, in my opinion, it's all like the most amazing thing ever. And it's like, and I've been in a place where I didn't, I've been looking for this to come through, like it's been kind of stuck, this sort of thing. But by just loving myself like that, actually let it come into me. And it gave me clarity that was sort of there, that I could have, but it was invisible to me. It's like it was always right there, but I couldn't see it because I wasn't loving all of myself. The minute I started loving all of myself, I got past my judgments of myself, I could see it then. It's like, and I knew like that's what created it. Like I got
Yep.
clear enough in the energy. Now when I'm tuning in, wow, now it's like just like all is coming in, all the clarity. So if you don't do it for any other reason other than you want to get clear on your life and your business and everything else and all the benefits that come from that, love, 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 baby.
It is the truth. There's an example that I give to my clients that I think is really powerful. I don't have necessarily a bottle right here, but if you think of like a water bottle or a cup, and you think of your body as being, a receptor, right? And we have energy. That's what runs everything, is the energy. So if you have this much energy in your body and this much is resentment or guilt or shame, that's that much less space you have for joy and peace and happiness and clarity.
Right.
And what these principles do is help release those things that no longer serve you and help redirect. You've worked with this for years. How much time do we typically, unless, we're awake to this, how much time do we typically spend just kicking ourselves for something we did 10, 20, 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And that's so much energy that could be available to, just like you said, let love move through you.
Yeah.
And this is just one of those processes that helps you do that. But you're right, that clarity one, I have to tell you, like I redid the math on that like 4 or 5 times because I thought that can't be. I can't be doing that. I checked the batteries and like I used different things to do my calculations because I thought, how could that be? And I also wanted to mention that the people in this study, it was a small study, but the people in this study had just regular life issues. There were people going through divorce, people with really very ill family members, several actually, who had loved ones pass during our 3-month study. We had someone with severe health issues, life-threatening health issues, somebody with really, really devastating financial problems. So it was all life stuff. And still, they got clear. They were happier in a pandemic because they were focused on love, not fear. And this was a tool that helped them do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. I
It
mean,
really was amazing.
I'm looking at where we are. I'm wondering if if you're open to having people have an experience of of this, so they can get more clarity right now. So I think you had a process maybe you could share with us. Would it be a good time to do that now?
Absolutely. This would be great because we've had a little explanation. We understand what they are and what they can do for us. So I would invite everyone, if it is safe for you to do so,
Hmm.
to shut your eyes. If you're driving, hey, I'm not talking to you, but the
Right.
rest of you guys do that. I'm really getting guided to do this in a specific way today. What I'd like you to do is just bring to mind what we're going to call a focus person. Someone that you might be a little irritated with, someone that might be annoying you a bit, could be somebody that you have a grudge against. Whoever is the first one that comes to mind is more than likely who you want to use as your focus person, we'll call them, for this exercise. So have your focus person in mind. And I just want you to note on a scale from 1 to 10, how do you feel about this person that you're thinking about? Just, you can write it down or just make a note of what that is for you. Okay. All right. Now we're going to put that aside. Just remember what that is. So here's what I invite you to do if it's safe for you to do so. Put your feet on the floor and sit comfortably, feeling supported by your chair. Have your arms resting gently in your lap, perhaps on the arms of your chair, whatever's comfortable for you. And if it's possible, I'd invite you to sit comfortably straight but comfortable. And let's imagine that we are breathing love in through the back of our hearts and out through the front. Breathing love in through the back and out through the front. Breathing love in through the back and out through the front. There we go. Now, in the sacred space of your heart, silently to yourself, I just want you to ask, show me how to greet this person, this focus person, with an open heart without an agenda. I'm just going to give you a little space. Show me how to greet this person with an open heart without an agenda. And as we breathe, we're remembering that the perfect information will come to you at the perfect divine time. Again, in that sacred space of your own heart, just silently ask, show me this person's divine essence. Show me their divine essence. And just relax into that possibility. Now, what I'd like you to do is, if you are ready to experience forgiveness around this person, I want you to ask, show me how to forgive them quickly, completely, unconditionally. Show me how to forgive anything I have contributed to this situation. If that's too much for you right now, then I invite you to ask, show me what it would feel like to be open to forgiveness. Just breathe into the possibility of forgiveness for them, for you, in any way that you're shown. And we're trusting that it will come exactly when and how and where it is supposed to. Now, what I'd like you to do is see yourself standing, could be in an open field or on a stage, whatever's comfortable for you. And I want you to imagine there is this brilliant, beautiful, iridescent golden light from above, shining on you, probably at least 10, 20 feet all the way around you. I want you to imagine that this beautiful light of the all is gently entering the top of your head through your crown chakra. It is gently washing over the surface of your body, over your face, over your neck, your chest, down, front and back. It's also penetrating in the crown, washing every cell of your body in love. Watch this golden energy gently flow through your head, down your neck, starting to cascade over your shoulders. Feel those shoulders relax. Feel every cell singing with the energy of Source. Releasing, relaxing, refreshing every cell with love. Feel that flow through your chest, down your arms, through your legs, out your feet. So your entire body is revitalized with that beautiful source energy of the all. You feel it all around you, in you. And if you are ready, invite your focus person into this circle of love with you. Not to condone any action, but just to recognize and acknowledge the oneness that unites us all. Just see if that's comfortable for you to have them in the circle with you. You'll know what's right. Feel that energy around you, in you, that is you. Remembering that you come from love, in love, to live love. You are here to be the love that you are. There we go. Now, let's start to feel our feet on the floor. You can wiggle your hands, fingers, your toes. Come back to the room. Take a nice deep breath in. And before you open your eyes, I want you to go back to that focus person. And on a scale from 1 to 10, how do you feel about them now? Just make a note. And I invite you to go through that process anytime. I know that I think, Daniel, we're making a meditation available to your listeners as well. But I'm curious, how was that process for you? It was like super quick, but.
Yeah, no, that is wonderful. I love that. I love it. And I loved everything. And I love the gold, the way you did the golden light. You know, a lot of people talk about the gold light. I talk about it too in certain meditations. But the way you did it, you know, I liked that. It like really got you light into that lightness quick, you know. So I really
You're a light body. It's you're a light body.
Right.
Yeah.
I really like that. And as far as with the person that I was working with, so to speak, what happened is just that I just, you know, it just brought more heart awareness, I guess I want to say, like more
Aw.
heart awareness to the love that I have, even within those moments where things might get dicey. Like it just brought more of it in. I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. That's the answer, so to speak, right? Because sometimes you're in these conflicts with people in your life in certain areas, and it's like you just don't know what to do. You don't know how to handle it. So then we fight, right? We're like, well, I'm gonna fight you on this then. And like
Mhm.
and I was like, no, I can just see her as she is and love her completely. I can say, I love you. There's so many things I can do to respond differently, you know, but it takes building that conscious awareness through practices like this.
I found that to be so, and and remember, you're talking to the person that wrote the "How to Choose Love When You Just Want to Slap Somebody" book. So I do, I know what that's like, right?
Yeah.
But what I also know, what I know now, is that no issue, no conflict, no problem is bigger than love. It just isn't. My ego can be bigger than the problem a lot of times, but love isn't. Not real love.
Right.
Not real love. And when I go to that source of intelligence, from that heart space, aren't you amazed by the solutions that were literally right there and you couldn't see them? At least that's what's happened for me.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it just coming out of that space, I imagine most people are still feeling the energy and they're like, oh, it feels good, right? We always feel that way after these wonderful processes. And the way you did it was amazing. So I know you do have a couple, one or two free gifts here.
Mhm.
Do you want to share those with people so they can get more of that?
Yeah, I think that you're going to have the links, I guess, in the
Yes, I'll
description
put
here.
them in the
Great.
show notes and everything. Absolutely.
Good. So I think we've got two things, and you're welcome to both of them. One is actually a Be Love meditation. So it's a different way to lead you through that process. So that would be would be one way. I would love for people to take a look at that. Also, some people are more visual. So we have like a step-by-step guide. It's just like, I think it's a back and front, right? Just a really quick step-by-step guide to help you bring literally calm to consciousness, because that's what we need, right? We just need to snap the heck out of it is what happens. How do we bring consciousness to chaos? And using this little quick guide, you can do that.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. So you have you have these two things: release, relax, and renew with Be Love Principles guided meditation, and
Yep.
also the visual. So that's great to have both. How to stay calm in a chaotic world, step-by-step guide. The links are in the show notes. You can go to yoursacredpurpose.com/blog and look up this episode there, or you'll just see in the show notes wherever you're listening. Or you can also go to Be Love Principles. And if you go there, you can also find the free meditation. I see that here
Yep.
and more. So
Yeah, there's interviews, there's there's all kinds of stuff there. Even there's a brand new Be Love song that we just released this
oh
week. So I'm
yeah.
really excited about that. That was written and performed by Sean Galloway,
Oh,
who
he's
is,
awesome.
do you know Sean?
Yeah, I know Sean. He's been at a number of Lightworker events
Yep,
I've
he's
attended.
a big friend of mine, and he sang it, and we both worked on the lyrics, and I am just so excited because it's another way to just embody those principles, right? I have
Wow,
to
I
tell
look forward
Sean
to
that we spoke.
Yeah, yeah. I look forward to listening to it, and I always love. He's a
Oh,
wonderful,
he's great.
wonderful musician, so and singer. So people will definitely be inspired by that. And for no other reason, go to Be Love Principles. To go ahead and take advantage of that because he's amazing. So beloveprinciples.org.
Mhm.
All right, Diane. So we're at the time of the show where I take just a minute or two to tune into your energy a little bit, just to give you some downloads and
Oh,
just to have
thank
that
you.
fun together. So, are you ready to receive a little energy scanning today?
Absolutely, and I appreciate it. Thank you. So
Good
I'm going to
thing.
be all ready for you.
Cool. All right. So I'll just go ahead and take that moment now. Hold on. Okay, this is a little different than what normally comes through right away. I'm getting like you've left this. I'm not like one to follow this sort of stuff, but what I'm hearing is like you've left more of, not to judge it, but like more of this reptilian energy they apparently you're connected to or part of, historically, and now you're moving more fully into the light. And so they're just showing me the shifts that have taken place there. So, that part that want to slap everybody, yeah, that's what's happening. That
Yeah,
reptilian energy is like, yeah, screw them, I'll show them and all that stuff that comes with it,
the
right?
reactive energy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're showing me the beauty of the
Mm.
transformation. Let's see what else is coming up. It feels like the value of you being, I see the throat shut down when I this gift. So what I see is that oracle energy that you really are. You can be very clear about what's happening when you really trust that ability more, and that it's very powerful. It's very
Mm.
very dead on, I guess, or however you want to put it. It's very strong, and it almost like places people, like you see the dream and a vision, and the way it comes through your throat when you're relaxed into it is it kind of steps their energy into it, like kind of in
Oh,
a natural way. Whereas sometimes when we're oracles, it's more like, oh, I'm here, I've got the information for you, and it kind of gets into them, but it's different with you, like it steps their energy field into it as you're
mm.
saying it, because that's the kind of energy that you carry. So this is a wonderful gift that you have.
Oh.
So it's just a matter of the parts that would be worried about, like people, getting at you, or they're going to judge you and all that stuff that so many of us light worker type of people carry. Just continuing to let go of whatever stuff is around in the throat that I noticed. So let's see if there's one more quick one. Hmm. Oh, okay. So they just want, I don't know, I'm not sure about this with you, but I don't remember, but they're also sharing with me around, it feels like Reiki. Do you do Reiki at all or
I'm a
no?
Reiki master.
Yeah, yeah. So they're showing me Reiki, and that they want you to double down a little bit on doing some more energy healing. That seems to be important as well. So that's another message. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's a great gift. Thank you.
Sure thing, sure thing. So, and does that resonate with the Oracle thing for you? I'm wondering about that one.
Um, I'm not sure I understand. I don't even really know what the
I
heck
don't
an
know if you
oracle is, to
understand
tell
it
you the
yet.
truth.
Yeah, sometimes that we don't know what it means yet, right? But
Yeah,
yeah,
all I know is I want to do everything I can to allow love to move through me, right? And just the joy of that, because this, I mean, you can tell I just love this stuff.
right,
It's
right.
just so much, it's just so much fun. And I know what it, yeah, it's just, I want to share it. So I absolutely will sit with that. And one of my prayers is usually, show me how to tune this instrument so that it can be of service, right? Because how it can be of service. And that's just because how this works. It's just fun. It's just more
Right.
fun that
Exactly.
way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just more fun that way. So I guess I don't think of myself as an oracle,
Right,
to tell
right.
you the truth. I just I just think I'm a fuzzy-headed grandma from Virginia that had a weird thing happen, and that's that's how my family thinks of me.
The
So,
Oracle like at least at a minimum, right? So,
just
so
humble. Yeah, humble.
So everybody, yeah, these things that I download sometimes are crystal clear, and sometimes they aren't immediately, but there's things for people to step into ultimately. So if you
Thank
want to
you.
check me out, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com and check that out. And you have an opportunity for an energy scan consultation. Also, there's a meditate and make money meditation. Open up your energy field, get the downloads, get the clarity. You'll feel the love within that meditation as well. So if you want to check that out, you go to yoursacredpurpose.com, and people are making more money just by listening to that meditation. Some of the people that are really apply it. You got to apply the thing. So anyway, check that out, and then we're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up. Diane, so what last words do you have for our audience today?
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this podcast, to be introduced to your audience. I really appreciate you, what you bring to the world, and I appreciate this opportunity. So first, thank you for that, and for that beautiful scan. Thank you. I just want to encourage everyone to, again, go into that space of your own heart where your truth lives, where your own wisdom lives, and ask to be directed from there. You'll know when you are connected to that truest part, who to follow, what to do. There are just so many gifts waiting for you, and love is the key to all of them. So I'll just tell everybody that I love you lots and remind you to be love.
Awesome. Yes, so true. So true. It doesn't get any better than that. That's for sure. Okay. All right. Okay, everybody. I'm just so filled with that sense of wow, coming off the brief meditation and this wonderful energy from Diane and her wisdom. I'm so grateful that you've been on the show, Diane. Thank you so much. Thank you for all our listeners. And you keep on tuning in, everybody. We'll keep on rocking it with love and more here on Spiritual Rockstar podcast. Goodbye for now.
You're listening to Spiritual Rockstar podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.